Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. In my previous video, you saw my favorites for the best in swimsuit at the Miss Universe Philippines 2020. Now it's time to review the evening gown competition in the preliminary competition of Miss Universe Philippines 2020. So starting with Acklin, I really loved the gown of Acklin. She stood out in that gown and her grace and sophistication was worthy to being watched. Talking about Albe, I don't feel that it was a performance which actually gripped my attention, but yes, the way she performed in both the rounds, I feel that she's going to place. Now next we had Antique. Given the current COVID-19 scenario, it was quite interesting to see Antique carrying her mask along with her evening gown. Overall, that performance was something which I would remember. However, since Antique did not perform exceptionally well at the swimsuit round, I don't feel that she is going to place. And then next we have Baguio City. So Baguio City gave a so-so kind of performance in the evening gown competition because I believe that the entire attention was shifted to her gown and not her candidature. So that is something which is not a very good thing because we always shift our attention to something which does not hold a great value, because best in evening gown means how you are performing in that gown and not talking about the gown per se. And now let's talk about Bohol. Now this particular gown reminded me of former Miss USA Olivia Jordan. The gown was so beautiful. I mean, it was simple, but yet it accentuated the entire facial expressions, aura of Pauline Amling so beautifully that she actually slayed this particular round. As much as I expected her from the swimsuit round, she compensated all of the things which I expected her to give at the Miss Universe Philippines 2020 stage. So she actually nailed it, and I certainly see her in the top 3 competition of the Miss Universe Philippines. Not talking about the performance, but this particular gown actually drew my attention. I like the color, I like the design. I couldn't see the details very intricately, but this was something which actually caught my attention. Sober yet very elegant. Now talking about Cata Antunes, Sigrid Grace Flores, she again caught my attention after the swimsuit competition. She gave a very good performance in the swimsuit, and when it was time for the evening gown round, I believe that she walked quite gracefully on the stage and her overall appearance was very soothing, very calm, yet very engripping. So that was something which actually caught my attention. I liked her gown. It hugged her body very nicely and she looked very beautiful and charming in that particular gown. I love both the gown, the creation, as well as her in that evening gown. She did complete justice to it. And now talking about one of the most favorite performances of the entire show, Miss Cavity Billy Heckinson. Now when I look at the performance of Cavity, I feel that she was on point. I mean, where would you cut her marks? She was so focused when she was walking the runway. That attitude, that winning aura was clearly visible, and after watching her performance, I honestly believe that she has a scope of enter into the top 3 competition of the Miss Universe Philippines. However, the only problem which I have with her performance is the kind of fierceness she showed in the evening gown round. I mean, it's very much acceptable in the swimsuit round, but when we are watching the evening gown competition, we need a little bit of smiling, little bit of flirtiness and gracefulness in the evening gown round, which was missing. And talking about the Cebu City gown, that was quite a game changer. The way Tracy actually removed that shield over the gown, that was something which was very sultry and very interesting to watch at the same time. I think we have seen the very similar kind of gown at the Miss Universe stage, where Mariam Habaj gave the similar kind of appearance in the evening gown round. Next we had April Smith. Now she was styled very well. I liked her overall styling, but I think that she failed to make her presence very strongly felt in the evening gown round. Coming to Eliza Malay now from Davao City, I actually love this performance. Her overall attitude, her persona, her grace, the way she smiled on the stage, everything was perfect. I actually feel that she was very poised, composed, and very relaxed at the time when she was walking on the stage. And when she reached the head ramp, I actually loved her facial expressions, that aura that was actually reminding me of something which she has, the power, the inner charisma which she has, that was reflecting very beautifully in the round of the evening gown competition. I actually expect that she gives the same kind of vibes in the interview, and I really want her to proceed ahead in the competition because now the competition is getting way too stronger. Now, if you were to ask me to name one girl who actually looked like the winner of Miss Universe Philippines 2020, it would be none other than Rabia Mateo, who was representing Iloilo City. Wow, that particular performance needs all the attention in the universe. And the way she carried that beautiful gown on the stage was impeccable, very impressive, very fascinating, and the expressions with which she carried herself, the kind of fierceness as well as grace, she somewhere reminded me of that smizing face of Pia Wurtzbach. Okay, so now in this one, I don't want to talk about the performance, but this gown actually took my attention. Maybe because I've seen the very similar design at somewhere in the Miss Universe pageant, some of or former Miss Universe candidates or the winner has worn this particular design. I'm unable to recall it. So this gown was very beautiful to me. I like the color, I like the design, the falling pattern on the shoulders, the slit, everything was so tempting about this particular gown. I really liked it. Coming to Sabel Yasmil, who was representing Paranaque. I love her performance in the evening gown competition, and no wonder she was awarded as the best in evening gown after the preliminary competition. Not only I love her performance, I like the gown, the way the gown was accentuating her beauty, the way the gown was actually bringing out the regal, royal quality required to win any beauty pageant in any candidate. That was something very tempting, the way she turned on the stage, the way she smiled, and how she was having an eye contact with everybody in the audience, although I'm sure that there might not be many people in the audience, but she ensured that she gave a very power packed and a magnetic performance. Another evening gown performance which took my attention is of Pasay City, who walked very beautifully, very smoothly, glided effortlessly on the runway, and her overall gown, the way she carried, everything was on point. Now coming to Michelle Gamabao, as usual she looked very graceful, and because she holds an experience of representing Philippines internationally and having participated in different pageants, I feel that she is very well versed with how to walk on stage and how to carry her expressions. However, I did not completely appreciate her choice of evening gown because that evening gown made her look a little bit of more healthy, and it couldn't actually accentuate her entire body features, which was a very big drawback in her entire performance. Another lady who caught my attention was Rizal because her evening gown reminded me of Evian Sarkos at Miss World pageant. She looked quite graceful, and the way she smiled, that was really tempting. So I definitely see her placing in the top 15 semi-finalist as of now. Well, now the rest of the things depends on how the jury visualizes it, but I see her in top 15. The moment Sandra Lebanon took over the runway, I remembered Jeannie Mai's words that yellow is the color of joy. I actually enjoyed watching Sandra Lebanon's evening gown performance. I think she was quite great in this round, and she gave a better performance than the swimsuit round in this competition. The high slit worked very well with her. Her hair looked very beautiful. She was throwing very sultry and graceful yet playful expressions. So all in all, I actually enjoyed watching her performance in the evening gown competition. So these were my personal favorites for the evening gown competition at the preliminary competition of the Miss Universe Philippines 2020. Do let me know in the comment section who are you rooting to see as the next Miss Universe Philippines. Until then, I will release my latest hot picks, the final predictions for the Miss Universe Philippines 2020 pageant. today. So stay tuned, turn on the bell notification and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Goodbye.